Why does every Call of Duty keep getting faster? Good question.
It feels like Call of Duty has basically become a movement shooter at this point.
Why is it graphics so bad? Hold on.
6 slides and dastardly
Gotta put it all the way 4K,
dives and just fucking shaking your screen and constantly on this out of control.
You know what's crazy? We have people on Bloodstrike doing the same thing now. Like, why are people on Bloodstrike YYing and stuff like that?
Conveyor belt when all I want to do is like sit behind a barrel. Does that make me a camper? That might make me a camper, but man, like if I run around the corner and someone's doing this shit, I don't know how I feel about that, man. Like,
that's why I hate the COD too, bro.
I know that there are tons of people who absolutely love this kind of fast and fluid, movement-focused direction that COD has become over the last decade or so. I mean, the game, for all
Question, should I make videos like this too, where I have a green screen and then have a mic? Because, bro, I'm gonna show you guys. I actually never showed you guys this, but I have a green screen. Hold on. Look at this thing, bro. Yeah. Okay, I have no idea how to put this in so it stays, but that's... I might leave it behind me, honestly. I might leave it behind me. But yeah, I do have a green screen. I never use it. I don't know why, I just have it.
COD is dead memes still tops the charts even on an off year. But at the same time, there's been this growing resistance in the back who think that it's gone too far, driving away the casual audience that used to be the backbone of this Coca-Cola-ass series. Just anecdotally, pretty much everyone who I used to play COD with back in the day have all left.
Stop playing,
primarily because of some variation of it's too fucking fast.
Honestly, I think I'm one of those people. I am not a big fan of Omni movement, and that's not a skill issue. Like, I can play the game, but I feel like it is too much for my brain to comprehend. I don't know what I'm trying to say with that, but like, maybe I'm just unk, bro. I mean, I'm turning 27. Maybe I'm just too old, bro. I don't know. But Omni movement, it just feels weird. Like, they try doing something that feels nice and smooth, but it doesn't feel smooth at all. Like, it feels very uncontrollable, I guess. Maybe you have to play more, I don't know, man.
Now.
Jeff Rosen,
I don't want to sweat my ass off. And yet, it seems like almost every decision made in the last 10 years has been made to actively make it faster and sweatier than the one before. So I wanted to put together this little video chronicling it all, just for the record, to see exactly how we got to cracked out clips like this from the humble beginnings of this. Because in the beginning, Call of Duty was as simple.
Has anyone
as
of you guys played the OG COD? I never played
2003. It. You could walk, look, aim, shoot, melee, crouch, and prone?
You can't even prone.
Could you go prone back then? All this research,
I don't think you
way
can.
To fumble it on the first fucking yard
yeah.
line. But notably, there was no sprint. If you wanted to move faster, you basically had the choice between not doing that or just jumping constantly to make yourself feel like you're covering more ground, even though you weren't. That was until
I didn't know that there was no sprint.
Call of Duty 3. Revolutionizing the game by adding in this little speedy nausea button that we all know and love today as sprint. And this sprint would let you travel across the map faster. But
bro, I wish I would have been like old enough to play these games and actually experience how it feels to have sprint for the first time. I don't know if there's anyone that's like, okay, I don't want to say old, but if there's anyone in the chat or watching that's old, comment. Or like just tell me your experience when you first actually experienced sprinting. Because I know back then I think Halo didn't have sprint either, right? I think Halo doesn't have sprint still. I haven't played Halo in a while, but yeah.
That you couldn't shoot while doing it. A perfectly reasonable trade-off that allowed for bigger maps to be played smaller without actually making them smaller. It seemed like a win-win. And this new standard became the bones of COD movement for the next 5 or so years. However, there were still a few fringe things in the game that were already pushing that speedy, overnight stamped envelope. Like lightweight and extreme conditioning, letting you increase that
OG perks.
speed and let you sprint for longer. And of course, there was also just, you know, an increase in just like player connection speeds as they got more and more stable.
That is true, actually.
And people moved off of shitty dial-up internet and onto...
I'm 45? Wait, okay. What was your first COD that you played? Commando Pro to go? Oh god. See, I unfortunately started playing with Black Ops 2, so I never really experienced Commando Pro. But I know Commando Pro is goated.
It was still kind of shitty, like Comcast internet. Not to mention all the small maps like Rust, Nuketown, and Shipment making their debut, which when stumbled upon in regular
It's crazy how these maps still exist now.
This sugar rush. But the point is that on the sticks, it played mostly the same from game to game. And it was relatively slow. Even things like mantling back then had this really janky kind of
I remember that,
up and down movement to it. That
bro, the amount of times I died because I mantled somewhere and it was like super slow, bro.
Hurt even to this day.
I feel like nowadays you can just like do like some type of movement and jump on top of like the trash can right there, for example. You don't even have to mantle anymore.
In fact, it wouldn't be until 2010 with Black Ops 1 that we finally saw an actual addition to the movement system with the Dolphin Dive. Or at least
Black Ops 1, the GOAT.
Everyone called it back then. I'm pretty sure the devs always said in like official material,
would you guys say Black Ops 1 is the best COD ever or Black Ops 2?
Dive to prone or something like that, but like a lot of these early mechanics, the community just came up with their own name for things, and
the ballistic knife was so goated, bro.
Thankfully, Dolphin Dive was relatively tame and not like, well, just nobody asked me why we call it training in zombies. But overall, the new dive didn't really add to
OG MW2? This might be a hot take, but Cold War is the best COD ever.
Much to the multiplayer experience.
I said it. Better than BO2, bro.
And penalized
and
real
OG MW2.
So
BO1
just used
better than any COD.
Diving away from grenades, or when you'd accidentally.
The only thing good that came out of MW2 OG was intervention and Rust.
Hit it while trying to drop shot.
I said it.
Oh yeah, drop shotting was a thing back then. Where basically, just in the middle of a gunfight.
What's good, Vidic? How you doing, man? I'm doing good, bro.
You would hit the prone button to just drop straight down onto your stomach as a way of.
I wasn't there. I never played MW2.
It was like
to be
you
honest.
were playing dead, but also having a 50% shot of becoming.
I think the only thing I actually played from MW2 was the co-op campaign, I think. Or what was it called? It was called Spec Ops. Spec Ops. Yes, Spec Ops. Yo, my boy Alex was good. By the way, Alex, I failed the challenge, so I need to do 24 hours on Warzone Ranked. GG's.
Dead quicker because you turned what would have been a body shot into a headshot. It was still cool though if you were able to pull it off. And my muscle memory even still kicks in to this day. And I find myself doing this randomly in modern games, even though the new meta is clearly just
what game is that? Is that BO7?
Sliding like you're on uppers. But I'm getting ahead of myself. We will get there. Speaking of sliding though, just a few years later.
Yo, this is the best map ever, chat. Stonehaven? Oh my god, man. I love this map.
Dropped onto the scene. And
I'm joking. I'm not being for real. I'm joking.
Upon the power slide. It was kind of underwhelming. Honestly.
Wait, they had a power slide?
Underwhelming that I usually forget it's even in this game because it's
I didn't even know.
Finicky and really doesn't do much for you.
What?
Except being marginally better at getting you out of the line of fire. You know, less escaping from a bomb rigged to blow and more you're sliding across the hood of
I mean, that's kind of useless, I feel like.
Which brings us now to the jetpack revolution, where despite us all looking back.
Okay, this might be a hot take too. I know BO3 is like loved by a lot of people, but in my opinion, Advanced Warfare is the best jetpack COD that existed. BO3 is good and all, but I don't know, I was never really a fan of it. Advanced Warfare, I was never a fan until I recently tried it, and the jetpacks feel really nice. But I feel like back in the day, you probably wouldn't have liked it as much.
Back on the games that came before, as
of course, Hyper. What's up, man?
Playtime. Let's be honest, it was kind of getting stale. Call of Duty was.
Bro said, "Shut the hell up and get on Bloodstrike." How about you shut the hell up and I'm gonna ban you? How about that? How about that, Jaden? How about that? What is your username? I'm not even gonna say the username out loud, bro. How about that, brother? Bam! Get the ban hammer, bro. Get the ban hammer. Tell Jaden you'll touch him. I will touch you so aggressively, bro. Like, yeah.
Same thing.
What up, OSMM? How you doing, man?
They needed a change. And as Sledgehammer Games told us in the open...
I played all the old COD titles recently and I found all of them average at best. Maybe it was the multiplayer that made the games interesting. I would definitely say multiplayer and zombies. Some campaigns are really good, like for example World War II. World War II campaign, Ghost campaign was goated. But obviously Black Ops 2 campaign and stuff, but like mostly multiplayer, I would say, at least for me.
Opening promo for Call of Duty Advanced Warfare, power changes everything. Now literally blasted into the future, this COD completely overhauled the movement system, giving everyone a newly invented exosuit, letting them boost in any direction at will. We're talking left, right, back, forward, and up. Not
it was kind of nice though.
An unprecedented level of verticality
it was
to
like
map design, but
sorry for pausing, but it was like the perfect amount of jetpack. It wasn't like too over the top, you know what I mean? Like it wasn't like super over, like crazy like Black Ops 7 where you can wall jump and you can slide and you can do Omni movement, you can all this stuff. Like BO3 was still okay, but like Advanced Warfare, in my opinion, I used to be an Advanced Warfare hater, but Advanced Warfare, bro, they cooked with the jetpacks. If they bring this back nowadays, it'll do so well, bro, I'm telling you. What up, Ray? How you been, man? What's good? I joined Discord. Let's go, Jaden. Appreciate you, man.
Also, speeding up and increasing the footprint of every gunfight. Now, when you ran into another player, instead of dropping to the ground, you could boost up into the air and dodge their bullets like a clay pigeon with a machine gun. Suddenly, cover wasn't really a priority, and the skill gap evolved from just having good aim and map knowledge to now also needing to adopt a new controller grip to keep up with the rest of the lobby. Now, there were a few
you gotta play Claw, bro.
Pieces of
what do you know about Claw?
Layered in there as well. For instance, like the Exo Hover.
What do you know about Claw, chat? What do you know about Claw? The little trick-shotting area? Yeah.
But none were really widespread enough to make much of a difference on like a macro level. So it's really not worth mentioning here. So I guess just like cut that last bit. But Advanced Warfare wasn't just a one-off, as the next two games, Black Ops 3 and Infinite Warfare, also had their own advanced movement systems that walked a bit back on the jitteriness of it, opting now for a jetpack fuel meter instead of just a rechargeable boost in any direction. This meant that you could pepper it and have a ton more control over where you actually went.
I'm well, Ray. I hope you're doing good too, man. What you been up to?
Randomly. Now, there was more finesse to it. There were less penalties for doing it in the middle of a gunfight, leaving a lot of that risk versus reward system that was always the backbone of these traversal mechanics completely behind. You know, you didn't need to choose between moving fast and being battle ready.
Is it kind of quiet for you guys?
All, girl. And this was the critical turning point, in my opinion. The guns always up mentality that, don't get me wrong, is smooth as hell and makes you feel like a badass, just made the game completely unrecognizable from the classic boots on the ground gameplay of something like World at War. You know, remember that this is where we started. Although, to be fair, while you could use these in combat, a lot of these new systems were still primarily developed just to help people traverse the map faster. There was wall running, there was Ruin's grapple hook in BO4.
Bro, BO4 was goated.
Which, to be fair, was just kind of an exploit where you could slide directly into a jump. And it would max out your speed. It was the fastest way of moving.
Wait, I didn't know this existed either.
And I believe this was also the first recorded instance of slide canceling in the series. That's
yeah,
a
of
fun
course,
fact,
Ray.
if
Yeah, for
that's-
sure, man.
if
I don't
that's
stream
true.
daily,
Now,
but
the
I stream
D-slide was later
once in a while,
patched,
yeah.
But by the time it was, the damage was already done. And now, constantly sliding everywhere was added to the toolbox alongside YYing and max sensitivity shaking for tools who wanted to move fast and look cool pretending to do it. But while after the triple
World War
jetpack
II, my
titles ran
goat.
their course and we
My
started to
goat.
revert back to more boots on the ground
My
movement,
goat.
it was ironically 2019's Modern Warfare
Goated.
seemed to be the most
Goated.
grounded and realistic feeling game yet that took movement
One of the
to
best
its
CODs
next
to
big
come out ever, bro.
evolution. Don't be fooled by
my
the
opinion.
realistic lighting and cool infill animations.
World War
This
II sniping
game
on Gustav
genuinely
Cannon. What do you know
did
about the
so
Gustav
damn
Cannon, bro?
much for the modern movement community. First is Pack Sprint, a super sprint, if you will, activated by double tapping the button. Something that, in this context, doesn't really mean a whole lot beyond now giving everyone else another YY tick, but holy shit, is there a huge debate around it on whether or not it should even exist. And it is, from this point forward, featured in all but one game, so I feel like I
That's
do
why
need
Cold
to bring
War
it
is
up
the
here, even
GOAT.
though, personally, I don't think this is really adding much to, like, how fast it is, but
The reason why Cold War was so good is because it felt like an OG COD in a way. I don't know how to explain it. Like, the sniping was good, the gunplay was good overall, the movement was good, it wasn't too over the top, the maps were good, bro. They cooked with Cold War, and the fact that they only took 6 months to make it, bro.
it's, I was gonna get a comment if I didn't mention it, so I'm mentioning
That's why
it. Here
best
you
COD ever, in
go.
my
The
opinion.
big thing with this game, though, was that slide canceling was back. And now, even easier and less immediately patched than ever. All that you had to do was slide and crouch out of it to immediately bring your gun back up.
I
ready
love
to
the
fire.
MP5 on this
Meaning
game, too.
that you didn't even need to use that new super sprint. You could just slide cancel your way around twice as fast as
I
you
might
could
might
walk.
play MW19
And
again,
because
guys.
we're constantly moving.
This makes me wanna
between
play it.
Standing and crouching, you were just harder to hit, too.
Oh my God,
And
the wild
then
bite goes
all of
crazy.
that was then combined with the game's severe lack of almost any aiming penalties.
What up,
to
Paradox?
jumping
What's good?
or
What up,
sliding.
David?
Like, just look at how accurate you can be immediately after jumping compared to games where you are actively encouraged
That's a good point.
to jump around in gunfights like BO3. Your aim just sticks in a way that's so satisfying.
Yeah,
but
that's a good point,
also
actually.
is so overpowered. You also had things like the stim shot, which let you heal yourself immediately after.
Oh my
or
god, the Vanguard Warzone era, bro. I wish I would have played more because the Blixen. Oh my god.
during a gunfight.
MP40
without needing to
Blixen?
disengage
Bro.
for a minute to regen anymore.
Goated.
Removing even the need for a quick break in between the action. And we also have to mention that
Goated,
this
bro.
was the first game with crossplay, meaning that console players were now placed into lobbies playing on keyboard and mouse, who in general can do a lot more crazy
See, this is way too
maneuvers
much
than
movement,
you
bro. Way
can
too much
on your
motion
Mad
blur, like,
Catz
what's going on, bro?
off-brand controller that you somehow got working on a PS4. I didn't even know they still made that shit anymore. So from a console player's perspective, the huge influx of PC players made this game feel like it instantly sped up for them, even if for PC players, it was more of a lateral move. And if Modern Warfare was the one to hit the accelerator with us on that 80-mile-an-hour street, then this next one, Black Ops Cold War, was the one that put the brick on it. Because in addition to most of that same movement tech carrying over, a lot of the rest of the game kinda took down any of the anti-movement guardrails. For instance, Modern Warfare's maps had camping.
Shaggy said, "Yo, are you live?" Are you being for real, bro? that has to be rage bait, but there's no way. Bro said, "Are you live?" Yo, Nox, I appreciate the follow. That was good, man.
Spots. It had doors. It had harsh lighting that, in a lot of ways, made the slow Sentinel style of gameplay viable. Almost too viable, depending on who you ask. But meanwhile, Black Ops Cold War was made by Treyarch, who don't play like that. Their maps are all the same, 3-lane, defined,
But that's why it's good.
perfectly lit competitive arenas.
That's why it's
meaning
good.
that there were less places to hide or position yourself strategically. It was all just the same run down the hallway until you encounter someone, and then whoever has the best choreography would win the fight. The addition of the gunsmith in this era also tended to cook
it was
out
so
a lot of
good,
the
bro. It was
variety
so
between weapons, and by extension, gunfights themselves. You know how, everyone had the meta loadout for whatever
Yo, I
gun,
see myself.
which
Yo,
meant
no
that-
way. Hold on. Yo. Wait, no, this is Mason. Oh, I made this thumbnail for him, though.
gun, which meant that those moments.
Wait, am I not on here? I made his thumbnail, though. I remember I made his thumbnail. That's why I was like, wait, that's me.
Everyone had
I see chain
the meta
feeds.
loadout for whatever gun.
Damn, I'm not on here? I'm washed.
Which meant that those
What?
moments where you or your gunfight partner were outclassed by the other just didn't really happen as much anymore. It didn't matter if you had an SMG or an LMG. They were both built to be an
Sniper.
AR, so it didn't
Sniper all
fucking
the way.
matter. Although, to be fair, a lot of what I just said is kind of more projecting onto future Treyarch games, but we'll get there in a minute. Because first,
Treyarch is
there
trash
is
now,
one
bro.
more
I'm sorry,
thing
man.
that Cold War did to speed the game up, and I don't know that it gets enough credit. And that was finally including an FOV slider on console. This is another one like crossplay that didn't actually speed it up at all, but it definitely sped up how people perceive it. See, a higher FOV means
Yo,
that
the
you
nail
see
gun.
more on the sides of your vision, right? It gets wider. And so when you move, that's more stuff being blasted past you, creating the illusion that you're moving really
It actually
fast,
looks
even
crazy,
if,
the difference, bro.
You're not. There's a famous shot from The Graduate that kind of shows the opposite, right? They use a super telephoto lens.
Damn, that's a
which,
crazy
in this
lens.
case, equates to like a super low FOV to capture a man running down the street toward camera. And because it's so narrow, everything in the frame is so truncated around him, and it creates the illusion that he's running really slowly, even though he's hauling ass. In other words, the higher the FOV, the faster it looks. And so, all players now being able to raise that thing even just a
Bump
few
it all the way up, bro,
degrees
all the way.
can make the game feel fast.
If you don't
Even
play
if
on all the way up max FOV, I don't know what you're doing, bro. Like, it's such a disadvantage to be on low FOV.
you're moving at exactly the same speed. And from this point on, it really felt like the franchise was starting to prioritize
This was the best Warzone era, bro.
more than ever before.
I forgot what this game was
Title
called.
had
That was
at least
crazy.
Something in it that aimed to speed it all up. Vanguard had combat
Ew.
pacing, increasing the amount of players on the map, plus the ability to move while mounted.
You know what, guys? Let's go back to COD Vanguard, man.
Yes, mounting was a thing. Everyone used
Bro.
it. MW22 added high mantle.
Might as well, man.
MW3
Might as well.
brought back slide canceling, announcing it in the
up,
weirdest
Protector? How you doing?
fucking way ever by sending creators a box with slides, a can, and a cell phone, like they were cleaning out their back seats.
What?
And all of that combined with the new movement increases made MW23 feel like the fastest COD yet. Despite
I mean,
some
MW3
earlier
was really
titles
good.
having literal, like actual jetpacks. But we still had one more stop
Oh, brother,
on
here
our
we go.
roller coaster. Yeah, roller coasters famously don't have stops, y'all. Omni movement.
Here we
This
go.
was Black Ops 6's
The worst
crowning
addition ever,
achievement.
man. Reverse
The
it,
only thing
bro.
that we heard about for
Pack it
months
up, man.
leading up to release. In as little words as possible,
Pack it up, bro.
Omni movement let you sprint, slide, and dive in any direction and while shooting. Meaning that now, sliding around corners and jumping through gunfights could be done faster and smoother.
God
I
damn, he's
immediately
moving.
take back what I just said about MW3 being the fastest non-jetpack game. This was the fastest one yet. Combined with the huge percentage of small maps in regular rotation, which only made it even faster. Guns don't matter anymore. Equipment, who fucking needs it? Perks? That's too much reading.
Yeah, that's true.
Dive backwards on a dom flags and slide into the entire enemy team like a rogue bowling ball. Then Black Ops 7 took this Omni movement concept and added on
Which one's worse?
And
Which one's worse, Black Ops 7 or Black Ops 6?
a super high mantle. But at this point, if you're watching this video, you know this part of the story. The game is fast now. People are bouncing off the walls all too literally. And if you're like me, you're just kind of exhausted. I know that there's been this huge back and forth over the years about COD's movement creep. And
BO7?
This video is not gonna change anyone's mind, nor is it the goal to. People like what they like, and that's okay. It's one of those things that it comes down to what I call the ASS principle. You might think that that's an acronym, but unfortunately it's not.
What?
So, you know how everyone thinks that they're a good driver? Well, I think that's because, to me, when I'm driving and I see someone on the road going faster,
hell no.
They're more aggressive than me, I think to myself,
yo, that's
wow,
me!
What an asshole. And conversely, everyone who's driving slower than me, well, they're just a dumbass.
Yeah, why are you stopping on the ramp, bro? Come on, man.
How fast or slow I'm going, right? 10 over, 10 under. If they're flying by...
Hold up, bro. They were both stupid. These guys were both stupid. This guy stops middle of the merging lane, and this dude is just going. He doesn't even stop. He's just going, bro. He's like, whatever, bro.
Everyone who's
he's like, he had so much time to brake.
Slower than me.
Why is he just going?
They're just a dumbass. It doesn't matter how fast or slow I'm
going.
Go
straight.
Right? 10 over, 10 under.
Like,
if
what?
they're flying by you, they're being a reckless asshole. And if they're slower, they're dumbasses causing traffic. I think it's the same thing with video games. Anyone better than you is a sweat, or they're hacking. And anyone worse than you is a noob, or
that is true. He has a point.
Whatever the fuck the kids are calling losers nowadays. Because everyone has a particular speed that they think is perfect, but as the speed limits change so much over the years, you've got millions of people who were perfectly happy before sprinting, before diving, before omnidirectional super sprint to
what
dive,
the hell did I just watch?
that are just run off the road seemingly by a bunch of assholes.
Oh my god.
But I think that this is a good enough opportunity to try asking why. Why has it gotten so fast? And why do people seem to prefer this style of gameplay over the other?
ADHD.
Because we live in a world of
short form content,
movement, constant competition.
Short form content, attention span, ADHD, bro.
Over our eyeballs.
That's why. That's 100% why.
Lights and quick-moving text to keep you engaged. The movie trailers now come with a mini trailer tacked on the front because it helps with the only currency that actually matters now: retention. And because simple retention is the goal,
everything has to be fast, snappy.
There's a reason that I cut every breath out of my videos. It's because retention is literally how I get paid. And so with games like COD...
See, for me personally, I mean, this video that you're watching, if you're watching on stream, W-mans. But if you're watching this on YouTube, this is uncut. I like to post uncut. If I post on my main channel, I do cuts here and there, but like, I think now people are starting to kind of get away from the constant dopamine, I think. I don't know. End of the day, you remove stuff, you'll want it back, add new stuff, you don't like it. Yeah, like the Omni movement right now, like some people like it, some people hate it. They will remove it in the next game, and then people are gonna say, oh, I want Omni movement back. Like, it's just gonna be different groups of people, I guess, you know?
All of the focus is on the macro now, the long-term progression with individual matches and those shiny unlocks that you get every 3 seconds, only serving to help retain your attention.
Dopamine hits.
Stones along your quote grind that people pride themselves in like it's a second job.
The cameras are kind of fire though.
And who wouldn't want their job to go by quickly? And I don't know, man, like life in general already moves too damn fast.
Bro,
As
I swear.
Older, the more I just want the
I'm about to turn 27, bro. I'm unk.
spinning to stop. The voices to just shut the fuck up. And the thing that I always used to retreat into to forget about these endless to-do lists, and the feeling that I'm falling behind has been replaced with more to-do lists and an environment where I can't breathe. And again, I'm not trying to make
this
it
one
out
kinda
here
dark,
like,
bro.
like fast game equal bad, or that like Call of Duty is to blame for my anxiety disorder, right? That's my shit. I got that. I'm just saying that it feels like at some point along the way, I was left behind by the acceleration skill spectrum. Because that's right,
that's
it
ass.
was an acronym after all. Fuck you, sue me, I'll see you guys next
What?
week.
Alright, W video though, honestly, he had some good points, man. If you don't like it, it's a skill issue. Honestly, I do gotta say, if you don't like Omni movement, it's probably because you don't know how to use it. I mean, I really don't know how to use it. I feel like I struggle with it, and that's why I mainly don't like it. If I would be good with it, I think I wouldn't have an issue with it. And I think that's with a lot of things, but at the same time, I would rather have like a Black Ops Cold War style COD again, like just normal sliding and maybe proning and diving and whatever, but like no like Omni movement stuff. I feel like Omni movement is, for me personally, just too much. Like, not in a sense of I can't get used to it, because I have played BO7 and BO6 and I did do well in some games. But you hated MW3? Not really. I mean, MW3 wasn't bad. I have a lot of videos on MW3. It wasn't that bad. But now that we have some new games, MW3 looks a lot better compared to those. That's why MW3 now is quote-unquote good, because compared to the new games, it's way better, in my opinion. Or like a lot of people's opinion too. Bloodstrike is trying to add dolphin diving. That'd be sick. But yeah, W video, shout out to replay mode. I'm gonna leave a like, bro. Go show him some love, man. This was fire.